already spending large parts of the year in Central Florida while I was living in the house in South Florida. And there got to a point where by the time I was like 19 or 20, because I'd finished high school or whatever and was going to school and had a job and I was still living in the house, they weren't there. And they had taken on a boarder who lived in kind of a small apartment that they added to the house. And now it was, can you stay in case he needs something, and can you collect the rent? So it was like, my parents moved out. I didn't need to. I didn't move out till I was like 24, 25. I didn't need to. This was in the 80s. And I have always told my mother, it's like, not for nothing, but when I moved out, it wasn't 8 months later that a hurricane came and destroyed the house. You should have just let me stay. Just saying. Not saying I was like some, spiritual protector of the homestead, but the evidence seems to point that way. Your brother moved out when he was 18 too and has roommates? Well, there you go. Your mom bought me a KitchenAid mixer when I graduated. That is a great gift. I agree with Slug, because cared for, that thing will never die. It's a really good gift. You bought a manufactured home. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So don't mind my sons living here as long as they help me out. There you go. Yeah, that's kind of always how my parents were. My parents were, you either go to school and you live here rent-free, or you get a job and you pay a little bit to help out. You do stuff around the house and you stay here until you graduate. That morphed after they kind of started living, elsewhere. But I mean, ultimately, and they were right. It's like, as long as I was going to school, I didn't pay anything. I changed my major. I left college. I went and got I changed to mass communications. And when I finished that program, I went and got a job. So I wasn't going to school anymore. And they were like, all right, now you got to kick in. So I did. Your son is 14 and wants to be a professional streamer. So you should listen to a podcast I recorded with More and More. Don't do it. Tell him to go to Hollywood and be an actor. His odds are better. Infinitely better. Although I got to admit, my nephew my cousin has a 10-year-old, and I was talking to him at a get together last weekend. He's like, my YouTube channel's up to 250 people, and I went and looked at his channel. And he's like 260 people, and he's averaging about 125 views a video. I'm like, dude, I don't have 250 people. Tell me your secrets. Let's go. You missed the More and More podcast, Deanna? Tomorrow is so to be clear, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so Friday, June 3rd at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, More and More will actually be on Friday Push to Prod talking about game development, because he's a game developer. So I was on his show last Saturday. He's going to be on my show on Friday. So if you're interested in what he does for a living when he's not doing his podcast and when he's not building Lego, and you've always wondered what a game designer actually does, because I continue to be shocked at how few people actually know what designers do. Even though it seems like that would be an easy thing to figure out. Agent knows. Is that your actual title, Agent? Does anyone want to know what a game capture artist does? I bet there's an audience. We can have that conversation. I'd have you on in a heartbeat, Pen. How do you find these podcasts? Let's start here. You would think I would have a command.